Hello students. So here I am going to revise electrochemistry from the formative to or from the board point of view. So here the first question asked is calculation. It is a calculation of the EMF of the cell and cell representation is given. Before I start with this topic, I will give you one trick, okay, which is like if you are getting confused between what is happening at the anode, where it is represented, which side, all these things. So you just remember this one thing, LOAN, lone. L stands for left, means it is in the left side, who? Anode, and on which oxidation takes place, and it is called as anode, and the polarity is negative. So opposite will be for the cathode, right? Reduction will be taking place, that will be cathode, and the charge will be positive. Now here this is a cell representation, this is the left side. If you see, this is a anode. Why it is represented left side? You can see that it is written cadmium 2, cadmium 2 plus. Okay. So now question is, you are asked to find the EMF of a cell. All these R value, Faraday's constant values are given, but the thing is, we'll write a Nernst equation. Nernst equation is written as EMF of a cell is E naught of a cell minus RT NF 2.303 log of concentration in anode half cell upon concentration in a cathode half cell. This is what we can write. Now to get this N, okay, what is very important, we should know N, right? To get this N, what is required? Balanced half cell reactions. In some of the reaction you can easily figure out, but sometimes you need a balanced half cell reaction to be 100% sure, right? To get this N. Now to get this concentration, okay, if you want this anode upon cathode, we also want what? Overall cell reaction. That is also very important because stoichiometric coefficients will be involved, right? So log of, like, it could be written product upon reactant, okay, it could be written, this equation could be also written as a product, concentration of the product upon reactant in a overall cell reaction, right? So first we'll write a half cell reaction. See, if you see over here, what is this? This is a left, right? Anode. So at anode, what is the reaction taking place? Cadmium getting oxidized to cadmium 2 plus by loss of 2 electron. Now cathode, what is happening? That hydrogen plus is there, this is accepting one electron, and it will change to half mole of H2 gas. Half mole of H2 means it is like this, and this is balanced. We can write it this way. Half mole of H2 gas is there. Now if you see, the electrons are not balanced. This is not balanced, means both should have a same electron. So what I do, I multiply this equation by 2. See, in oxidation we represent an electron in the right side, means it is shown that it is loss of the electron, and in cathode reduction we write a electron in the left side, right? So if I write this again, this will be what? I'll write both the reactions again to avoid confusion. Anode reaction is this, cadmium, 2 cadmium, this is 2 electron, sorry, cadmium 2 plus, and cathode, what I am writing, 2H plus 2 electron multiplied by 2, this will be just H2, 1 mole of gas. So what is there? So overall reaction, these 2 electrons which are on the opposite side of the arrow, whatever is there on the opposite side of the arrow, we cancel or subtract, right? So overall reaction is cadmium plus 2H plus giving you cadmium 2 plus H2. This is the overall reaction. Now we will substitute over here. Now one more thing I wanted to make a point over here is that we are not going to substitute everything over here, means value of R, T, F, okay, because at 298 Kelvin, yes, at 298 Kelvin, okay, we'll do this. I'll tell you, E cell, there is one more formula which we use often, same formula, slight modification is this. R is what? 8.314. Temperature 298 Kelvin. This is 2.303. This is N is what? How this N, the electrons which are getting transferred in a balance equation, that is what the N is. So this is equal to 2 and Farad is 96500. Or as of now I'll put this as a N only because I want to teach you something. So here log will be what? Log will be concentration of product, that is H2, concentration of the cadmium, that is 2 plus, and here upon reactant concentration of the cadmium and concentration of the H plus raised to 2, because stoichiometric coefficient is 2 over here. That's why this balanced chemical equation is very important. So E cell, now what is E naught cell? What is E naught cell? E naught cell is E naught cathode minus E naught anode. Now if you see, the cathode over here is this. This is from the hydrogen, standard hydrogen electrode. This is a cathode which is represented on right side. So that's electrode potential for the hydrogen electrode is 0 minus of minus. This is minus 0.403. So E naught over here is 0.403 volt. Right? So what I'll write over here, 0.403 volt. Now this term 8.314298, if you solve this, then it comes to 0.059, and upon N I am writing. Okay, now what is N? We know that N is equal to 2 in this example. And what is this? Log of concentration of H2 is considered to be 1, concentration of cadmium 2 plus, it is given to be 0.1, right? And upon concentration of the cadmium, this is in solid state, so it is also 1, and concentration of H plus, this is 0.1 the whole square, right? Now I'll clean that part, the remaining part, this I'll clean. So E cell is equal to 0.403 minus 0.059 upon 2 log of what? This is what? 0.1. This is 0.1, or I'll write this to be 10 raised to minus 1, and this is 10 raised to minus 1 raised to 2, means 10 raised to minus 1 could be written, 0.1 could be written as 10 raised to minus 1. So again 403 minus, this is 0.059. See, we can write this to be close to something 0.029, or we can write this to be close to 0.6. I'll write 0.03 close value into log of 10. How? This is 10 raised to 1, this is 10 raised to minus 1, and this is 10 raised to plus 2. So this will be 10 raised to 1. So 0.403 minus 0.03 into log of 10. What is log of 10? Log of 10 is 1. 0.03 into 1. So 0.403 minus 0.03. Right? So final answer will come to 0.37, somewhere close to 0.37 volt EMF of the cell will come to that value. Okay, 373 also we can write. You take this much value, 0.37 volt. Right. So what was E naught? E naught was 0.40. It is getting somewhere 0.37 volt. Next question is based on the Faraday's law. of electrolysis. So question asked is how much of the electricity in coulombs is needed to discharge 0.5 mole of a chromium 3 plus ion. Now this question, now what is a coulomb? We are writing, this is Faraday, sorry, this is not R, this is Faraday. Faraday's constant to be 96500. Now what is this value? Faraday's constant, how we are getting this? Faraday's constant, which is equal to 96500. What is this? This is a charge, this is a charge, this is a charge, approximate, this is charge on 1 mole of electron. 1 mole of electron means 1 mole of electron means what? 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb is a charge on 1 electron. 1 mole means what? 6.023 into 10 raised to power 23. If you solve this, answer will come approximately is equal to 96500. Right? This is what that Faraday's constant is. Now question is how much electricity in coulombs is required? Means coulombs is asked, not farad. So this is what? 1 farad is equal to 96500 coulomb, means charge on 1 mole of electron, charge on 1 mole of electron, charge of 1 mole electron is equal to 1 farad. Same way, charge of 2 mole electron will be 2 farad, means which is equal to 1 into 96500. Here it is 2 into 96500. That way it is, right? So now coming to question. Now what is this? How much electricity in coulombs is needed to discharge 0.5 mole of chromium ions? Let's write a reaction. So I am writing a solution over here. Chromium 3 plus ion will accept 3 electrons, 3 moles of electron to deposit, get converted to chromium. This was in the ionic state. This is into a solid state, right? So to discharge or deposit, this is something which is in a solid state which is getting deposited, right? Means what? Any electrode is there. Let's say this is the chromium electrode. This is the chromium electrode. This is the chromium electrode, and the chromium 3 plus ions will accept the electron. It will change to what? Chromium, right? Then it cannot stay into the electrolyte. It will get deposit, right? So question is asked that way. Chromium 3 plus, standard reaction is this. Means what is this over here? This is stoichiometric coefficient which represents 3 moles, right? So 3 moles of electron is what? 3 into 96500 coulomb. The charge required for deposition of 1 mole of electron is 3 into 96500. So therefore what I write is 1 mole of the chromium 3 plus requires how much of the charge? Why 3? Because 3 moles of the electron deposit 1 mole of this. So 3 into 96500. 1 mole is what? 96500. So 3 into 96500. So for 0.5 mole chromium, as per the question, is what? X coulombs. X coulomb. Therefore X is equal to what? 3 into 96500 into 0.5. This charge or the electricity in coulombs required, final answer is 144750. 144750 coulombs is the charge which will require for this to deposit 0.5 moles of the chromium 3 plus ion. Because to deposit 1 mole of the chromium, this is the amount of the charge is required. So question asked is draw a neat label diagram of a dry cell and write the cell reactions taking place at both the electrodes. Okay, what I'll do is I'll just show you what diagram you have to draw without wasting a time. So this is the diagram, and like reactions, we have to write the reactions involved in this. So okay, this is also called as I'll write the name of this. This is also called as Leclanche cell, also known as a dry cell. Okay, the reactions which is taking place at the anode. So anode is what over here? Anode is a zinc cup. Okay, the outer casing, that is a zinc cup that is acting as an anode over here. And Zn, anode means oxidation is going to take place. Anode plus 2 electron. And cathode reaction What is reaction which is taking place at the cathode is this. There is a paste of MnO2, right? So MnO2, NH4 plus reduction, no? So one electron it will accept, then you will write MnO OH plus NH3, right? That is what you are writing over here. So these are the reactions. See over here, this zinc from the 0 is getting oxidized to 2 plus, and over here this is MnO2. So Mn is from plus 4 is changing to what? What will be this? Plus 3, right? So X minus 2 minus 1 is equal to 0. Yes, X is equal to M is equal to plus 3. So this is a reduction. By accepting one electron, plus 4, it is changing to plus 3. This is a whole setup. Now write two advantages. Now this whole thing is about A. Write two advantages of the fuel cell. That is what is asked. So fuel cell advantages, I am answering this question B. Fuel cell is environmental friendly. It is environmental friendly, and efficiency is comparatively higher. Efficiency is comparatively higher than normal thermal plants. Okay, this fuel cell is different. Don't relate anything to this. There are two questions which was asked. One is regarding Lagrange cell, dry cell, and other is fuel cell, H2O2 fuel cell we are talking. So just advantages. There are 2 points you can remember of the fuel cell, and these are not related to this. Okay. So next question is this: draw a neat label diagram of H2O2 fuel cell and also write the reactions involved. So I'll show you the diagram. Just give me a second. So this is the cell diagram, that is H2O2 fuel cell. H2 and oxygen is supplied and byproduct is water. This simple diagram, only very important reactions, that is the reaction taking place at the anode and the cathode. If you see over here, if you want to write an overall reaction, let's write this overall reaction. So this will get cancelled, and this 4 electron, this will also get cancelled. What remains is oxygen and 2H2, and this will remain. So 2H2O. Like overall reaction is very simple, like oxygen and hydrogen getting combined to form a water. That is the overall reaction. About H2O2 fuel cell. Okay, next question. Calculate the EMF of a cell at 298 Kelvin of an electrochemical cell, which is represented. This is a representation of a cell. We'll use a Nernst equation, that is E cell is equal to E naught cell. I'll directly write, since at 298 Kelvin I am writing this to be 0.059 upon N. Instead of writing RT by NF, I am just writing this, and log of concentration in a anode half cell or anode half cell upon cathode half cell. We can write product upon the reactant also. Okay, concentration of the product upon concentration of the reactant in an overall reaction. This could be also written because stoichiometric coefficients will be involved, right? So that will matter over here. So we need N, for which I will require what? For which I will require a overall cell reaction, right? So here first we'll find E naught. What is E naught? E naught of a cell is E naught cathode minus E naught anode. Now among this, which one is a cathode and which one is an anode? Always remember the one which is having the higher reduction potential, that will undergo reduction, means that is acting as a cathode. So among these two electrodes, 0.34 and minus 1.66 volt, who is acting as a cathode? 0.34. This is acting as a cathode because it is having a higher reduction potential. Not necessary it should be positive. Comparatively, even if this was like something minus 0. Something, let's say minus 0.4, then this would have been bigger, right? At that time this would have been act as a cathode. So now this is a bigger value, so I'll write this to be 0.34 34 minus of minus 1.66, and this answer is going to come to be is equal to 2.0 volt. E naught is equal to 0. We got this value. We need N, and to write all these things, product upon reactant, we require an overall cell reaction also. So this is a reaction. This is an anode oxidation taking place, right? So anode half reaction I am writing. Anode half reaction I am writing to be is equal to aluminum getting oxidized to Al3 plus by loss of 3 electron. And what is a cathode? What is a cathode? It is a copper 2 plus accepting 2 electron to get a copper, right? So this is the thing. Now if you see, this is not balanced, like this is 3 electron and this is 2 electron. We need to make those electrons equal, and that value will be a N value. So I'll multiply this equation throughout by 2, and I'll multiply this equation by 3. Now the number of electrons will be equal, and then we will get a overall reaction. So I am again writing anode after multiplying what 2, so I'll get this to be 2Al, changing to 2Al 3 plus and a 6 electron. And cathode reaction is 3 copper 2 plus 6 electron changing to 3 copper. So this and this will get cancelled. So N value, we got N value over here is equal to 6, right? Then overall reaction is also important. Overall or net reaction is also important, because this is 2Al plus 3 times copper 2 plus 2Al3 plus and a 3 copper. This is solid and this is also solid. This is aqueous and this is also aqueous. Now substituting this, all these things in this equation. So therefore I will write E cell, I'll write here, E cell is equal to E naught I am getting to be 2 minus 0.059, N is equal to 6, and log of concentration of what? Product, that is copper raised to 3, concentration of aluminum 3 plus raised to 2, and this is what I am getting. So therefore E cell is equal to 2 minus 0.059 upon 6 into log of, this is solid, copper is solid over here. So it is 1 raised to 3, unity. Concentration of the solid is considered to be unity. Concentration of Al3 plus 0.02 the whole square. Here copper 2 plus 0.01 the whole cube, and this is what? 1 square. I'll clean this part. And so therefore E cell will be is equal to what? E cell is equal to 2 minus 0.059 upon 6 into log of, this is what? 0.02 the whole square. Right, so 0.02 I will write as 2 into 10 raised to minus 2. Right, 2 into 10 raised to minus 2 the whole square upon, down I am writing 0.10 raised to minus 2 the whole cube. And this is 1 and 1, that is 1 and 1. So E cell 2 minus 0.059, I'll consider this roughly to be 0.06. Okay, 0.06 into log of 2 into 10 raised to, this will be what? 4 into 10 raised to minus 4. 2 raised to 2 is 4 and 10 raised to minus 2, and this will be, down it is 10 raised to minus 6. So what I'll do, I'll solve this part. Only this much part I'll solve, then substitute again. Why we have to write all these things? See now what I am doing. What I am doing with this part. So therefore, log of 4 into 10 raised to minus 4, and this is 10 raised to 6. It is this. So therefore, log of 4 into 10 raised to 2. I am solving only this part over here. Just pay attention. So this is what log of 4 plus log of 10 raised to 2. So log of 4 is what? Log of 4 could be written as 2 raised to 2. 4 could be written as 2 raised to 2. And this is log of 10 raised to 2. By identities of the logarithm, log of a raised to x is x log a. So I am writing 2 into log of 2 plus 2 into log of 10. So what is this? 2 into log of 2 is 0.3010 plus 2 into log of 10 is 1. So 0.6020 plus 2. This comes to 2.6020. Right. So this will be is equal to 2 minus 0. See, this is just small approximation I have done. You can solve it properly. 0.06 upon 6 into 2.620. So this answer 2 minus, this will be 0.01 into minus 10 raised to minus 2. So 0.026, or we'll write 0.026. Answer comes to 1.37 something. Yeah. Sorry, 1.7. The answer is going to come that way. Sorry, 97 I mean. 0.02, yes, correct. This is 1.97 volt. So here is the next question. Draw a neat label diagram of lead storage cell and write the reactions taking place at both the electrodes during the discharge of the cell. So I'll show you the diagram, what diagram you have to draw. So this is a whole setup. This is the diagram which you have to draw over here, and these are the reaction, anode reaction and cathode reaction, which you have to by heart. And what is happening? Anode, if you see, it is in a zero oxidation state. It is going to what? +2 oxidation state, because sulfate SO4 is 2 minus, so therefore lead is +2, right? Same way over here, this is getting reduced from +4. Lead over here is in +4 oxidation state. This is in +4 oxidation state, getting converted to what? +2. So this is a reduction reaction. This is overall reaction, and this is the everything you have to know about a lead storage cell. So this question, calculate the standard Gibbs free energy. Calculate the standard Gibbs free energy for a cell in which the following reaction takes place. Okay. So Gibbs free energy, how it is given? Relation is what? Delta G is equal to minus NF E naught cell. Minus NF E naught cell. Now what is the N value for this? See, I can figure out this to be, N will be coming to be 6, but if we do it systematically, half cell reactions if we write, then it will be a perfect, right? We should be knowing how to write the half cell reaction, then we will get the N value. So anode reaction, what is happening at the anode is oxidation. Like from this reaction, chromium is getting oxidized from 0 to what? +3, right? So chromium, I am writing, getting oxidized from chromium to Cr3 plus and a 3 electron. And what is happening at the cathode? What is happening at the cathode? Cathode means reduction. No? So copper 2 plus getting converted to. So how do I understand that? Cathode means reduction. So 2 plus changing to 0, right? So copper 2 plus accepting 2 electron will change to copper. Okay, this is solid, this is solid, this is aqueous, this is aqueous. So these electrons are not equal, so I need to make it equal. So I'll multiply this with 2 and I'll multiply this with 3. So therefore anode half reaction will be is equal to what? 2 times Cr, 2 Cr3 plus and a 6 electron. And a cathode half reaction, this is 2 copper 2 plus 6 electron and 3 copper. So this 6 and 6. Therefore, I found that N is equal to what? 6. Farad is 96500. Right? Overall reaction, if you do this, you will be getting this equation. Overall equation of this means, overall means what? You will write this 2 Cr plus 3 copper 2 plus changing to 2 Cr 3 plus and a 3 copper. It is this reaction which you are getting. So E naught cell is what? What is E naught cell? E naught cell is E naught cathode minus E naught anode. So what is the cathode? One which is having the higher reduction potential, that will undergo reduction. So that's why this is a cathode. Now from the reaction also we can say that reduction of the copper is taking place. So copper is a cathode. So this is 0.34 minus of minus 0.74. 0.34 plus 0.74. How much this comes to? 1.08. 1.08 volt. So this is 1.08. So final answer comes to be equal to 625320. 625320 joules. This is a Gibbs free energy for this question. So this question is again based on a equilibrium constant. This question is based on equilibrium constant. Gibbs free energy. Here, okay, I'll start with what I require is how do we write a relation? What is the relationship between a equilibrium constant and E naught cell? So log of Kc is a equilibrium constant n E naught cell upon 0.059. This is what how we are getting that. See, we will start with the EMF of the cell. Nernst equation is equal to E naught cell minus 0.059 upon n log of concentration of the product upon concentration of the reactant. No, in an overall reaction, that is what we write. At equilibrium, what happens is that E cell is equal to 0. At equilibrium, cell is dead. It is not working. Right? EMF of the cell is equal to 0. So therefore 0 is equal to E naught cell minus 0.059 upon n, and this will become what? At equilibrium, concentration of the product upon reactant at equilibrium is called as a equilibrium constant K. I will write C. Kc is C is for the concentration. So this will be is equal to E naught cell is equal to 0.059 upon n log of Kc. Therefore, log of Kc is equal to what? N multiplied by E naught cell, n multiplied by E naught cell upon 0.059. This is the thing. So this is how the formula is derived. So first we will find log of Kc, then we will find a Kc. Kc is what we need to find. So from this case, from this reaction, what is the n value? N value should be is equal to 2. If you see the anode half reaction, anode, I'll do it quickly. Anode half reaction, what is getting oxidized? Nickel is getting oxidized. So nickel will change to nickel 2 plus by loss of 2 electron. And what happens at the cathode? What happens at the cathode is that Ag plus will accept 1 electron to change this to Ag, right? So what I'll do, I'll multiply this by 2 so that number of electrons become equal. So this is Ag plus and a 2 electron and 2 Ag. So overall equation if you do, then you will be getting this as the overall equation. You can write that overall equation, but here number of electron n is equal to what? N is equal to 2. E naught cell is given. E naught cell is given to be 1.05 volt, right? Standard EMF of the cell is 1.05 volt. This is what is given. Okay, we'll just substitute that in a formula. So log of Kc, therefore log of Kc is equal to n is what? 2. E naught cell is 1.05 upon 0.059. I am writing it this way. So this is 2 multiplied by 0.1. This will be 2.1. Yes, 2.1. If I multiply this I'll consider 0.06. Okay, this I consider 0.06. So what I can do is I'll write this as 21 and I'll write this as 6 into 10 raised to minus 2. So this is 10 raised to minus 1. I have to write this to be 10 raised to minus 1. Okay. So this is 6 3s are 18. 6 3s are 18, right? 6 3s are 18 and yes, 3.5 into 10 raised to 1. So this is 35. Log of Kc is 35. But what is Kc? If I want to get rid of this log, what I'll do, I'll apply antilog on both sides. So antilog of log of Kc is equal to antilog of 35. So antilog log will get cancelled. What remains is Kc. Antilog of 35 is 10 raised to 45. This is the equilibrium constant for this. So here is predict giving reason whether copper sulfate solution can be stored in a zinc pot. Electrode potentials are given. Means this is a zinc pot, let's say this is a zinc container, this is a zinc container, and there is a copper sulfate solution. Copper sulfate means copper plus ion and SO4 2 minus, but copper 2 plus ions are there, and this is zinc. So since copper 2 plus is having higher reduction potential, what will undergo? Copper will undergo reduction. Means if itself is going reduction, it will oxidize this Zn. Means let's say this is the atoms of the Zn. This boundary of the vessel is made up of the atoms of the zinc, right? So this, what it will do, this zinc atom will get converted to what? Zinc atom will get converted to Zn2 plus. Once it get converted to Zn plus, what will happen? It will start going into the solution. Means it will create a holes into the vessel. So that's why I cannot store a copper sulfate solution in a zinc. So answer is what? What will be the answer for this? Answer is no. And reason is, what is the reason? Since copper 2 plus is having higher reduction potential compared to zinc, it will itself undergo reduction and will oxidize zinc pot That is the reason we cannot store a copper sulfate solution in a zinc pot. So this problem this question is based on a conductance of a solution. You can read this question. The resistance of the conductivity cell containing 0.01 molar KCl solution at 298 Kelvin is 1500 ohm. What is the cell constant if the conductivity of the same solution is what? 1.46. Conductivity is given, resistance is given, and the conductivity is given. So we know that resistance is directly proportional to length and inversely proportional to area of cross section. If I want to remove this proportionality sign, I will put a constant of the resistivity, right? So rho is not given. What is given is conductivity. What is the relationship between a rho and the conductivity? That is resistivity and the conductivity. They are inverse. So can I write this way? Conductivity into L upon L by A. Since resistivity is inverse of the conductivity, I am writing this. So what we need to find? Cell constant. What is the meaning of cell constant? L by A is a cell constant, which is equal to R into K. So therefore L by A will be is equal to, what is the resistance given? 1500 ohms. I will write this ohms multiplied by conductivity is given to be 0.146 into 10 raised to minus 3 Siemens per centimeter. Siemens means it is ohm inverse. Ohm inverse, understand that. Siemens could be also written as a ohm inverse per centimeter. This and this will get cancelled. So L by A will be, the answer is coming to be 0.219 per centimeter. Obviously the answer should be in per centimeter. See, L by A, like this is centimeter and this is centimeter square, this and this will get cancelled, so which will be is equal to per centimeter, right? So this question number 12, a conductivity of a 0.00241 molar acetic acid solution is 7.896 into 10 to minus 5 Siemens per centimeter. Calculate its molar conductivity in this solution. If lambda naught m is a limiting molar conductance for acetic acid is 390 Siemens centimeter square per mole, what would be its degree of dissociation? Two things I need to find. One is molar conductivity and second is degree of dissociation. First, molar conductivity. Molar conductivity lambda m is what? Is conductivity into 1000 upon concentration. Why we multiply this concentration? Because why do we multiply 1000? Because basically concentration is moles per liter, but I want it moles per ml over here, so that's why this 1000 is there. Okay, so I'll write conductivity is to be is equal to what? Conductivity is given 7.896 into 10 raised to minus 5, and this 1000 is a conversion factor. Concentration is a 0.0. Yes, concentration is this 0.00241 moles per centimeter cube. Why I am writing per centimeter cube? Because it is moles per ml, since because of this 1000. So I am writing this just for your understanding. So here lambda m, finally I will write the value. Lambda m is coming to be is equal to 32.76. 32.76 Siemens centimeter square per mole. Now second is degree of the dissociation is asked. What is the degree of the dissociation? It is the number of molecules getting dissociated, alpha, right? If there are 100 molecules, out of 100 molecules, how many molecules are getting dissociated? That is what the degree of dissociation alpha. So maximum value of the alpha is 1. For strong electrolyte it is close to 1, but it cannot be more than 1. So it is given by lambda m by lambda naught m. So if you get a confusion whether it is lambda m or lambda naught m, always remember that this is a smaller value. Smaller upon bigger will be a less than 1. Okay, lambda naught m is the maximum value of the molar conductance. So this will be, I am getting that value to be how much? 32.76. 32.76 divided by 390, right? Lambda naught m is given, that is 390. It won't have any units because it is a ratio. So alpha is coming to be is equal to 8.4 into 10 raised to 8.4 into 10 raised to minus 2, which is equal to 0.084, which is always equal to less than 1. So question asked is here, state Colrat's law. This is what you need to state, the law which is there, and calculate the lambda naught m for the acetic acid. These are all strong electrolytes, understand. See, limiting molar conductivity could be found out easily for the strong electrolyte, but for the weak electrolyte we have to use a Colrat's law, right? So Colrat's law statement, it says that limiting molar conductivities of an electrolyte is a sum of individual contribution of the cations and the anions of the electrolyte. That law you, of course you can write, but how to solve this question? See, here I want a acetic acid. Find for a acetic acid. So this will be lambda naught m of CH3COOH will be is equal to lambda naught m of CH3COOH plus HCl, sorry, this is NaNO, sodium acetate, plus lambda naught m of HCl minus lambda naught m of NaCl, because I don't want Na and Cl from this. Okay, I'll prove this to you. That would be good. You know, it would be as per the Colrat's law. This could be written as lambda naught m of CH3COO minus plus lambda naught m of Na plus lambda naught m of H plus lambda naught m of Cl minus lambda naught m of Na plus. This is what actually the Colrat's law is. Cl minus. So I have splitted this up, everything over here, this and this will get cancelled, this and this is getting cancelled. What is remaining? CH3COH and this, right? So what is the value? This value is given. This value is given to be 91. So that's what this is 91. HCl value is given to be 426, and minus NaCl, that is 126. So this answer comes to be equal to 391. Directly I write 391 Siemens centimeter square per mole. Siemens centimeter square per mole. So this is how we have to solve the examples of the Kohlrausch law. So here I have revised something which was very important from the formative 2 point of view and also from your final exam go out. Thank you.